Hello and welcome to this edition of How's That? What a Sunday night it was. Good morning, Vijay. I hope you had a good night's rest.
Oh, really? I kept on reflecting on those two matches, and like you said, yes, a super cricket, super Sunday. And to me, the lasting memory was Mr. Sunil Gavaskar exclaiming, "What a ball! What a bowler!" when Bumrah got KL.
There's so much action, Vijay, in those two games. Plenty of batsmanship we got to see, some terrific tactics, and then there was great bowling, of course. But then all we remember is perhaps what happened in the super overs. There were six of them in the two games. No one would have imagined that Kings XI Punjab would play with victory and defeat in the span of a few minutes, win a match, and then go on close to losing it, and then snatching victory one more time. It was a great escape for Kings XI Punjab.
Absolutely, and like you said, yes, I mean some fabulous batting, bowling of top class because the fast bowlers were bowling quick, and what awesome fielding! We saw some fantastic acrobatics on the field. In the good old days, this was something unheard of, but now it's become a part of the routine. You know, every game you get to see these fantastic fielding acts, and to me, I think, yeah, like you said, you win a match in two balls, you snatch it back in the next two balls. Oh my God, it was I mean, such action. It's a challenge, Raja Raman, to remember and discuss all that in the show.
No doubt about that, Vijay. Everyone will be challenged to remember every bit of the 86 overs that were bowled last night. It was good. It is always going to be a challenge to try and recollect everything from those two games. But I don't think people are going to forget Mayank Agarwal's effort on the boundary line to save a six. Leapt backwards and pushed the ball in, and perhaps saved 4 runs that were very critical for Kings XI Punjab in that second super over against Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely, and this is what the difference between the modern cricketer and the cricketers we saw in our times, where they would at times allow the ball to pass and applaud, which was considered in best thing in the spirit of the game. You're applauding the opponent, but today's cricketer is an acrobat. He's an athlete, Superman on the field. Like this was a Superman act by Mayank Agarwal, and incredible. And then he literally, I think he saved the game with that one, with that fabulous save.
Well, there was a similar effort by Nathan Coulter-Nile that would have made a goalkeeper proud when Deepak Hooda flicked a ball and he saved 3 runs for his team with a diving effort. So we got to see some outstanding fielding. Of course, we have seen some ordinary fielding as well, people dropping sitters, but these two saves, I think both of them will stick in the mind for a long time. But talking about Mayank Agarwal, Vijay, he was one relieved man yesterday, scoring the winning runs for Kings XI Punjab. The whole process of Punjab losing a number of games that were within its grasp started with Mayank Agarwal playing a very lavish shot to the man on the cover fence and getting caught in Sharjah when he could have won the match with just a single.
That was, I think, a lesson he learned, which reflected yesterday. If you see the winning strokes from him, were proper cricket shots, an impeccable cover drive. He placed the ball so beautifully, and then again he got a full toss, but this time he didn't get out. He placed the ball to the other side of the field, a non-drive. But Agarwal, I think, has been a revelation for many, especially for those who may have not have followed his exploits in domestic cricket, who may have missed out his exploits in Test cricket. He is one compact cricketer, and he has grown with every game. I mean, he loves to be in the thick of action, and the way he batted yesterday, it has shown that he is a very, very mature cricketer now.
When there is so much action in super overs, Vijay, you tend to forget what happened in the match itself. KL Rahul played a very good knock of 77, but was bowled by Jasprit Bumrah with a peach of a Yorker.
Yes, you need a pitch of a ball to get a pitch of a batsman out. I mean, Bumrah versus Rahul I think it was a battle to remember. Bumrah definitely had the last laugh, but Rahul has, I think, he has won everyone's hearts with his skillful batting, his temperament. I mean, you look how cool he is. He doesn't get excited. That's the best part of his batting. He knows the best thing is he's able to pick the ball and find the gaps. That is the hallmark of a good cricketer. And there are times when he's able to effortlessly clear the field also, which shows that he has the timing, he has the power, and the fact that he has the heart to go and play his shots, because it's not always easy to just go and play your natural game. And Rahul has stuck to his natural style, and to me, I think he has been the batsman of the tournament so far.
For someone who was afraid that he might have lost his cover drive at the start of the tournament, he's played brilliantly. He's timing the ball really well, and perhaps playing some of the best cricket that we have known him to in terms of consistency. We've always known him to be a very talented batsman, but he seems to bring in a lot of maturity now, and I think the responsibility of captaincy has also helped him blossom even more as a batsman.
Mayank Agarwal, to me, he brings that old world charm when he's batting. Cover drives, on drives, shots on the ground. So, which is most unlike these modern cricketers. I've begun to love Mayank Agarwal's batting.
Kings 11 Punjab got into dire straits. Deepak Hooda and Chris Jordan had to take the team over the line. They needed about 23 runs in a little over 3 overs, and Mumbai Indians pulled the game back from there.
Yes, give credit to Mumbai Indians, I think, for pulling the game back, because it was not easy. Chris Jordan and Deepak Hooda were going very strong. But if I have to hold one thing against Rahul, it is that he must learn to finish the game. There are times when he's sort of leaving it to the partner, but at some point he will learn that he has to assume the charge and finish the game, because finishers are what people remember. You may, like we've been discussing, we've been talking about people who have made an impact in a match-winning effort. We forgot that Rahul was such a huge influence in yesterday's game. So I think Rahul should learn during course of time. He will learn that he has to give the finishing touch to his batting talent. And yes, I think I'll give credit to Mumbai Indian bowlers for pulling it back.
And when your team does not have a big stroke player, with Maxwell failing consistently, your team doesn't have a big striker of the ball in the middle over, and it contrasted very sharply with Pollard and Nathan Coulter-Nile did for Mumbai Indians, getting 50 runs in just over 3.5 overs. You're going to struggle, especially if you don't find the kind of batsman who can play those lofty shots and then take the team to victory.
And if you see, Raman, if you just go back and see Kings 11 Punjab's matches, there were at least 3 games, I think. I will not go into the details here. They should have won. They blame themselves for finding themselves in a situation where they are now fighting to get a place in the playoffs. But if you look at the matches, there are at least 3 games I remember where they should have won the game, won the match.
Kings 11 will remember the season for those games that it nearly won but did not. But last night was very different, and they were able to toy with victory and defeat, and then finally convince themselves that they needed to win this game and then get to 6 points. Very interesting statistics on the table, Vijay, where 4 teams are locked at 6 points. I think the bottom half, each of the teams can now fancy themselves with a chance of upstaging Kolkata Knight Riders, which has got 10 points. Tough for them, but 4 teams locked at 6 points at the bottom of the table, Vijay.
Yeah, they may compete among themselves, because I can't see KKR slipping from where it is now. I mean, it has improved. It is looking a good team with, of course, Dinesh Karthik has been probably in a better frame of mind. You'll get to see him batting more fluently and more with Morgan there. I think it is looking again a team which deserves to be in the top four.
That small knock that Dinesh Karthik played, Vijay, in the end helped Kolkata Knight Riders get to a winning score. Of course, it was a tight score in the end, not really a winning score, but Dinesh Karthik did play his hand yesterday, not just in the match itself, but also in walking out to bat in the super over along with Eoin Morgan, and then taking Kolkata Knight Riders to victory.
Yeah, probably there's a lesson to be learned here for Rashid Khan. I mean, the next time I'm sure he's not going to repeat what happened in this game. He should have gone for the second run. You're absolutely right. I mean, it would have been a calamity if he had got out, but the second run should have been attempted. Yes.
It is fascinating, Vijay, to see how many batsmen do not attempt the second run of the last ball. Either they're playing for their averages or it is the batsman's instinct. The last ball of the innings, you can go for the second run or the third run, as the case may be. But we have typically seen batsmen put their hands up and say no to their partner and stop them in their track. I believe that teams should attempt a second run or a third run. And even if a wicket is lost, it's not going to affect the net run rate. But this was the difference between victory and defeat yesterday for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Of course, they committed a lot of mistakes and should have played better cricket. But the fact that they don't have a quality death bowler after Bhuvneshwar Kumar came back home is going to bite Sunrisers Hyderabad big time.
Yeah, it has been costing the team because if you see the over dependence on David Warner, it's very clear for us to see, and then this over dependence on Bhuvneshwar because they kind of never groomed a good death bowler and was always left to bowlers like Rashid Khan and Bhuvneshwar. Of course, it is an art. It is not easy to bowl during the death over, say the 19th or the 20th over. But it is too late for Hyderabad to now juggle with the bowling. They have to do with what they have with them. But I think once again it will boil down to how David Warner delivers on that day.
David Warner, of course, played a good knock during the match itself, during the 20-over contest. But then he was not able to do anything at all against Lockie Ferguson, who had a great match, Vijay. 3 wickets in the match and then 2 wickets in that super over. Lockie Ferguson perhaps had the spell of IPL, coming to play his first game for KKR this season, bowled a memorable spell and picked up 5 wickets yesterday.
It never looked like he was playing his first match of this tournament. I mean, he looked very well-oiled machine, the way he approached and the way he bowled. And the best thing is, Rajaraman, if you see, he doesn't celebrate. I mean, he just he does this and he doesn't go overboard, running all over the place as if he has done a job. He was supposed to do this job of taking a wicket. And that is the best thing I like. His reaction, very measured celebration after getting the batsman out. It shows that his confidence and also the fact that he's just doing a job. I mean, he's supposed to take wickets and he's taken a wicket. So Ferguson, I think you're right. He's had a memorable spell, and for the audience, I think it's a lesson to see how a seasoned bowler performs in a tight situation.
The manner in which he bounced out Kane Williamson to get him caught at third man was quite a sight, Vijay. He pitched it really short, but the ball climbed slowly. It did not come on quickly enough for Kane Williamson, but he climbed slowly, and then he got Kane Williamson caught right on the fence.
If I'm not wrong, he's a very deceptive bowler. I mean, he can the ball really hastens off the pitch. He doesn't seem to give the impression that he's putting a lot of effort into the ball, but it does catch the batsman by surprise. So this deception is probably his quality.
This is the right time, Vijay, to take on a question from Mr. Noshir Mistry. a member of the North Stand Gang Mumbai. He's played 24 years of Kanga League. Can you imagine someone like him being very attracted to the modern cricket and asking us this question?
I am Naushad Mistry and a proud member of NSG Gang. My question to you is, why do fast bowlers persist on bowling short pitch deliveries on the slow UAE wickets, and why do bowling coaches not take any corrective action since these deliveries cost a lot of runs? I would really like to know your views on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mistry. Fabulous. I mean, it's great to be getting this question from you, and it's fans like you, and you are a true servant of the game. I mean, true student of the game and servant of the game. You have played this league, and Rajaraman, I'm told he also played in the minor county when he was serving in England. So I would say it's a very probing question. To me, I think the bowlers do tend to drift. The idea is to surprise the batsman. They can make a mistake in bowling short, but the idea is always to surprise the batsman to get more bounce of the pitch. But Rajaraman, what do you feel? I mean, why do bowlers tend to overpitch or bowl short in excitement?
Before I take on Mr. Mistry's question, I must say it is an absolute privilege to have someone like him, someone who's played 24 years of Kanga League and cricket in the minor counties. And then how can we even forget that we owe a lot to the Parsis of Mumbai? They are the founding fathers of cricket in the country. The first team that ever went and played outside of India was the Parsis. And to have Parsis on our show, and he's the second one coming up here, is terrific for us. We are completely honored. Thank you very much, Mr. Mistry. To now get to his question, I think a short pitch ball is a weapon in the fast bowler's armory, just as a Yorker is. I think what they do is surprise the batsman. Even on a slow pitch, they do dig the ball in and get the ball to climb a little higher or lower than the batsman expects, and then therefore they induce a false shot. It could be the miscued top edge, or it could be the gloved catch to the wicket keeper. So the short ball is a weapon, and you will not want to give up a weapon even on a slow track, like we get to see in the Middle East at this point of time.
And Rajaraman, I'm always, I mean, you have to be very, very, and Rajaraman, I think you have to be ready and at our best when these questions are coming from NSG, because they ask some very probing questions and they really test your cricket knowledge.
No, they are above the ordinary fans. I think they're students of the game, and it's always a privilege to have them on a show like ours, Vijay.
Absolutely.
Well, that brings me to fast bowlers yesterday, Vijay. Vijay, I want to ask you to pick one bowler from the 6 who bowled in the super overs. There were 5 fast bowlers, and there was Rashid Khan. So I want you to pick from the 6 bowlers who figured in the super overs yesterday. There was Lockie Ferguson for KKR. There was Rashid Khan for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And for Mumbai, you had Jasprit Bumrah and Trent Boult. And for Kings XI Punjab, you had Mohammad Shami and Chris Jordan.
I think without any doubt, I will pick Ferguson, because the simple reason that he was playing his first match, and to feel this pressure and deliver, it speaks volumes for his skill, temperament, and the ability to perform under pressure. Of course, you had Shami also. You were right when you named all the other bowlers, but to me, Ferguson was probably the best.
I was very happy. As an Indian, I was very happy to see Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami bowl 2 very high quality overs. Shami, I had my doubts because he's gone for plenty of runs in the death, but he bowled 6 wonderful Yorkers and kept the batsman tied down.
Yes, and always with a smile. Have you noticed? He is always smiling. I don't know, a smiling fast bowler. Oh, Shami was again, yes, an example for the young lot not to lose their composure when faced with the challenge. And yes, you're right about Shami being fabulous, and Bumrah, we don't have to tell anybody. Everyone knows his amazing ability to bowl the crucial overs.
Chris Jordan has the reputation of being one of the best death over specialists in the world. And Trent Bolt, of course, we know that he's a high quality bowler. Delivered 2 full tosses, one of which Chris Gale dispatched over the long on fence for 6 runs. Not the best day for Trent Bolt yesterday, but these are all high quality bowlers. And I think it was unfair on my part to ask you to pick one of the 6 bowlers, Vijay.
No, not at all. Not at all unfair. And I also love Trent Bolt. I mean, he's such a wonderful sportsman, on the field. Have you seen if the batsman gets a 4 or a 6 of his good ball also, he just smiles in return and goes back to bowl the next ball. And most unlike a fast bowler. I mean, such a pleasant guy.
And Vijay, we move on. Let's try and pick a most valuable player for each of teams last night. The first game was Sunrisers Hyderabad against Kolkata Knight Riders with KKR winning in the super over. Take your pick, Vijay.
For Sunrisers Hyderabad, I think I'll pick David Warner because he had a very difficult task. He demoted himself, came in the middle order so that Williamson could go and do his job at the top. So I'll pick Warner as a valuable player, even though he may not have been able to finish the game.
I will go for Lockie Ferguson, Vijay, from KKR. Had a terrific match, not just because he picked up the wicket, but because he's a throwback to an old era. It was almost like I was watching a black and white movie when I was watching him bowl. Easy action, very deceptive bowler, and played a match winner's part for KKR. While Lockie Ferguson did a good job for KKR, I think it was Mohammad Shami for Kings XI Punjab. I was very happy with how he has bounced back. He's gone for plenty of runs in those final overs, but then he showed a lot of character and in leading Kings XI Punjab's fight. Of course, they leaked a few runs in the end, but then in the super over, I think Shami stood head and shoulders above every other bowler.
Yeah, and if you want me to pick a valuable player for Mumbai Indians, it has to be Bumrah because with that KL Rahul wicket, he created a situation where Mumbai Indians stayed in the game. It was a rocket ball to a rocket batsman. So I think I'll pick Bumrah.
Right, Vijay. We move on to tonight's game. It's going to be Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, 2 teams which are in that bottom half. Chennai Super Kings will want to win this game, but it looks like Rajasthan Royals is coming into its own and can go on to win this game as well.
I think Chennai will be under tremendous pressure if they go into the game without Dwayne Bravo. That means a setback even before the toss is made, and it will be very, very probably the most challenging phase of this tournament for MS Dhoni.
Thank you very much, Vijay, for your time. Let's hope there is some good cricket ahead in store for us.
Yeah, thank you. Have a very good day.